Here you can see the new SLS hotel and the residential above. See the little triangles that form those diagonals. And of course that problem we have here of the garage, because we need garages as of now, for now, it is turning into some kind of artwork. And this is, because of the weather here, for an interior designer, one of the rooms is the pool, by the way. It is, you have to design the furniture and the feeling of the pool deck. And because it is a place where people live. They just don't go there to swim and depart. They hang around the pool. And this happens year round. And part of the interior design conveys the sense of this is urban life near the water. And that gives you the contrast with this other building that we are now starting. This is a new Ritz-Carlton Residences, also on the ocean. And therefore we instead see some kind of a nautical feeling. You see those penthouses with the pool decks, and you're almost like in the deck of a boat. And the curvilinear form of the building descends into the lower levels from this amazing rooftop experience. And there's a mid-floor experience where the clubhouse is, as if you were mid-level in a ship. And you can see here the arrival into the building, and the interiors being very clean and very pure and very beach-like. Look at the striping; it feels more like and the interior designer from Italy, Michele Bonan, did a great job of conveying that feeling of the nautical aspect that the architect was looking for. Look, even the bathrooms feel like you're in some kind of yacht, and we were seeking that, and we worked together to create that unity of interior and exterior with that message of almost not architecture but naval architecture that it happens in this building. And these are some of our other projects I'm going to show you. This is a new Fendi building in Miami Beach, and some of the feeling of the fabrics that the Fendi sisters do, and into those interiors. And you can see how they're very clean and very, but they're architectural, but also somewhat there's sort of fashion in them involved. And you can see here some of the spaces within the building. I'm trying to give you the flavor of what's happening on the interior design world in this city. And interior design includes a landscape, which our office does the landscapes. And it is, but it very much has to relate to the interior. It has to be an extension, as I mentioned before. And I'll give you some other quicker examples, not in as much detail. This is on Brickell Avenue, the new Equinox, Brickell Heights, with a huge health club, and these are some of the lobbies and public spaces throughout the buildings. Buildings here are treated, residential buildings are treated like hotels. They're not just residential. You know, when you look at some of these images, the expectation of our international public that comes to these buildings is that they are staying in a home, but it's like a hotel. It has all those aspects, and have restaurants on the lower level that are exterior restaurants, but they're sort of part of the life of the building. The era of the condominium, like when we started doing here, when we're freestanding buildings with no connection to the city, is over. This is, Miami especially has become very much of a city. If you saw the article yesterday in the New York Times, it's about the urbanity of a tropical city. It's no longer that what people thought about the city a long time ago. And and it includes families. There's a lot of families that live in the city here. It is not as suburban, let's say, as other locations. Like in LA, you would live in a house if you have a family. Here, people, like in New York, accept very easily living in the world of, in the urban world. So these are some of the other projects that I'm showing you, that the urban projects, which always contain some kind of exterior component within them. And I show you some of these images of some of the new projects that are coming in town that are combination. This is auberge, this is combination hotel, residential. And the residential lobby is like a hotel lobby, as I mentioned before, and there's like wine rooms and all kinds of other hotel-like experiences within the building. Now Miami Beach has an advantage, is that the density allows very large buildings with a lot of units, which can then share a better common area than you would if the building is very small. And This is example, if you go now to downtown and you go to Icon Brickell, where 3 buildings have 1,400 units, or actually 1,800s, or, you know, it's like a city. So there's a lot going on. Look at the size of the pool that traverses like a canal through the buildings, and that kind of density is permitting to make these very bold, big statements with the exterior space as well as the interior space. And in the other recent projects where we play with the whole idea of light and shadow and the inside out, this is Icon Brickell. This is another project for the related companies like the previous one, in which the most active developer here in the city, which has exploited that whole notion. They understand that notion of the outside and the inside. And I'm gonna, and there are also some smaller projects that actually take advantage of that. This is a small building in Miami Beach. Miami Beach has very few sites left, so when you find a small project like this, it's a miracle. I mean, these are only 8 homes. It is right on the beach, and that is a find. And you can see, it doesn't matter that it's narrow, it doesn't matter what happens in terms of dimension. It is, in Miami Beach, is a different kind of project because it is not as urban. It is expected to be a resort here. You can see some of the interiors are about that. I'm going to click quickly because we're over here. Other places where this kind of work is happening. This is in San Francisco, and these are micro units. I'm switching to the urban world again. And this is 650 apartments. A 1-bedroom apartment is 430 square feet. It has a real bedroom, has a walk-in closet, kitchen, it's a living room in that kind of square footage. It's again back to the world of naval architecture where you don't, if you had a 400 square foot place inside your boat, you think it's a huge boat. And why not in an apartment? But look at the lobby. This is a very small lobby, and it's intended, if you're in a micro unit, to arrive to a place that you think you're in a palace. You know, look at the materials, the stone behind those columns. Look at that sculpture, a piece of rock that is the check-in desk. I mean, it's. I know that it's inconsistent. You think this is totally schizophrenic. You're arriving to this slick lobby into this tiny unit, but that's precisely the point, you know. And I'll show you how you adjust to the place. I mean, this is Milano. This is our most recent project for Gerald Hines. In Milan, natural light for every room is necessary. And I noticed that they also like cross ventilation, which I appreciate. I think it's great, and I'm trying to do that here, like we've seen in some of the projects I showed you. You see how we did a small, medium, and large unit that like towers that are coming together. And we just completed this project in Milan, and you can see it's of course it's in the middle of the city. This is an urban lobby, and look at the clean, pure lines of this high space in a small square footage. That is the arrival moment. How you distribute to the units from that very pure, simple lobby on the arrival, and some of the public spaces, and how we do introduce walls so that people can decorate their place as they wish, but always with natural light. I mean, this is the only project I've done that the walk-in closets have a view. I mean, everything has a view, the bathrooms, the closets, everything. And I'll show you in the similar sense in Hong Kong. This is up in the hill on Victoria Island, where we've done other such projects of these residential projects with a lot of natural light. And I'll show you some of the interiors so you feel where the world of residential design is going in terms of the amount of design